What does it mean to act naturally? In this video, I'm going to be walking through some tips on how to help you act more realistically on camera. Before we get started, please be sure to follow me on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and also follow me on Spotify at Risen so that you don't miss any future episodes. I feel like there's a big misconception around what it means to be an actor and how to act, because most of the time from the things that I've seen and some of the people that I talk to, they feel that acting is very easy, that you don't necessarily have to put in a lot of thought, that you can just read the script and then all of a sudden, have it memorized. And then once you're on set, you just basically read your lines. But that's not how it works. Acting has multiple layers to it. And I think it's very important to note that, because the work of an actor is not easy. It's a hustle. You also have to have some sort of strategy when you're going into this business. So it's very important to note that acting takes time if you want to get it done right. And if you want to act naturally, be sure to stick around. So one of the things I'll say is when you're on set, when you're on any set, right? Mostly film, because that's what I'm going to be giving advice on, but in theater too. So if you're on set on a theater stage or on a film set, you always want to make sure that you are fully immersed in the experience. You always want to make sure that you are focused and that you are centered around what's going on. I know there's going to be a crew, there's going to be a camera literally like staring directly at you, and it's going to feel intimidating, but you really need to block that. You really need to say to yourself, okay, I'm living in the moment, I'm living in this present setting, in this present scene as this character, and I need to evoke this emotion as naturally as I can. And once you get yourself in that mindset, everything will honestly flow as smooth as it possibly can, as long as you're focused and concentrated. Another thing I'm going to say is sometimes drawing from personal experiences can be really helpful. I know from my experience as an actor is that I tend to draw experiences that have taken place in my life, and I have put that into the character, into the setting that I'm currently in when I'm on a film set. So let's say your character's father is in the hospital, or he's struggling with something right now, or he got into a car accident and all of a sudden he's in the hospital. If that's actually happened to you in real life, you can take that experience and add it on to the character who you're on camera with, to your scene partner. If, for example, you had set up a date with your significant other, and let's say it was your anniversary and they stood you up that day, and you're really frustrated and you're really sad. Let's say that actually happened to you in real life. And let's say you get a script, and in that script it says that your character was stood up by their significant other. Like, you can literally take your actual real life experience and bring that into the character, bring that emotion into the story that you're telling as the actor. And I feel like a lot of the times it helps because it puts us in that mindset. It helps us realize that what the character's feeling is real, and you can actually evoke that in a natural way. Another thing I'm going to mention is when you are acting, right? If you want to act naturally, you always want to have in the back of your head, okay, as I'm saying these lines, how would I actually say this if I were to have a real life conversation? So for example, if someone asks you in real life, when was the last time you saw the boy? And you respond by saying, well, the last time I saw the boy was when he was eating cereal. And do you see how naturally that flows? Whereas I feel like some actors, if they were to take that line on a film set, they might say something like, the last time I saw the boy, he was eating cereal. Do you notice how there's like an unnecessary pause there between saw and the boy? It doesn't make sense because it almost feels like you're forcing the thought, right? Like you're forcing the last time I saw him was when he was eating cereal, whereas where you can just say, the last time I saw the boy was when he was eating cereal. The last time I saw the boy was when he was eating cereal. And say that over and over again until you finally get to the point where you're saying it naturally, as if you were to say it to someone else. So that goes into practicing, that goes into recording yourself. If you have a particular script that you're auditioning for, and regardless of whether or not you book the role, still have that recording with you and still look back and see if you have any sort of mannerisms that you shouldn't be having, see if you tend to shift your body when you shouldn't be, and really see how you are presenting yourself as the actor, how you are delivering the lines, because the last thing you want to do is show to the audience and show to the camera that you are trying to act. As an actor, you never want to show anyone that you are trying to act. You just want to be a natural human being. And that's one of the hardest things ever, is just to be human, is just to be natural. But the more you practice, the more you do it, the better I can guarantee that you will get at acting. One thing I would suggest is, if you have the time, or as you have time, set just maybe like 30 minutes a day, 15 to 30 minutes a day, or every other day, to look at a monologue, read it, study it, understand the character's history, understand the character's wants and needs at that moment, and just do as many monologues as you can and record yourself as you're doing it. Because again, the more you do this, the more practice that you have, the better you will get at it. And the more, again, going back to the topic of today, natural you will be at delivering an effective story, at delivering an effective, authentic, natural performance. Another tip I want to mention is method acting. Now, I don't personally go by method acting simply because I feel like it takes a lot out of you as the actor, and I feel like you might get in over your head. But the reason why I'm suggesting method acting is because it might work for some people. And I know a lot of actors, a lot of successful actors, even though I don't know them personally, but I've seen their work, and those people, by using method acting, have been able to deliver authentic, natural performances. Someone I can mention right off the bat is Jared Leto, and his role in the Joker. When he got into the role of the Joker, he did method acting, and by doing method acting, you are literally eating, sleeping, and breathing the life of the character. So I don't entirely know his routine or what he did, but he got so into his character that people were saying that he was sending used condoms to his castmates, to his fellow castmates of Suicide Squad. And so it just goes to show you the extent that people go to get into their character. But I thought he did a great performance as the Joker by using method. If you were to use method, let's say the character that you're supposed to portray has a tic, and they're a peanut butter aficionado, and they also love cycling. Even though you don't do any of those things, you, as a method actor, if you use that technique, you'll start to incorporate these different nuances. You'll start to incorporate the tic, eating tons of peanut butter and starting to cycle daily, And by doing that, you're essentially training your brain into thinking that you are indeed that character. It tricks your brain into thinking that you are indeed that person you are portraying. So to recap what I just said, in order to act naturally and really get yourself into the habit of becoming a natural, authentic actor in your scenes and in whatever story you're telling on film, is First of all, you want to be present. You always want to be in the moment. You want to make sure that you block your mind from any distractions that are around you. Obviously, there's going to be a huge film set, especially as you get into the higher budget films. So you always want to make sure that you're very concentrated and very focused on your character's wants and needs, your scene partner, anyone else acting in that scene with you, and the environment that you are physically in. Another thing you want to remember to do is to always remember to be human. And again, that's one of the hardest things that you have to ask yourself to do as an actor, is just remembering how you would naturally do things and how you would naturally say things as your character. Remember, always as your character. So if there's a certain way that your character would move, you would move in that way. If there is a certain way that your character would say a line, you would say the line in that way. Always remembering that they are you in the back of your mind. Which brings me to method acting. Method acting is another way to get yourself to fully immerse into the role you are playing and really deliver an authentic performance, if that is the strategy you want to go in. There are many methods to really create an effective performance, but that just happens to be one of them. If that's for you, you can try it, see if it works. If it doesn't, again, there are other methods you can try. Practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. Monologues, read with someone, have someone give you feedback, record yourself as you're giving these monologues so you can always look back and see what things you tend to do a lot or what things you could do differently for a future audition or a future performance. And just know that no matter what you do, always make sure that you don't put yourself down just because you're at a certain age and you feel like you needed to get somewhere by a set time. Don't fret, don't worry. Everyone gets to where they want to be at the right time, and age is no number. Age knows no limit to what you can do. I know a lot of actors in Hollywood today that got their start when they were much older in life. For example, Samuel L. Jackson. We got Morgan Freeman, who started their careers or who really got recognized and known in their mid to late 40s. You got Octavia Spencer, who also got recognized at a later stage in her life. You got Jessica Chastain, and she's an Oscar winner. She won Best Actress, and she got her start in The Help. She was known for other roles prior, but she got her start in The Help at 34, and she went on to create, to be in more films and be hired by these incredible directors and producers, as were the other actors that I just mentioned. So don't fret. Again, acting is a hustle for sure, but if you are really into it, if you're really passionate about it like I am, really give it your all.